Welcome to Beyond the Policy, the podcast where we go past the fine print and into the real stories that shape how we live, work, and protect what matters most. I'm Matt Karaffa, risk advisor, consultant, and founder of the Be Better Foundation, where each week sit down with clients, colleagues, and industry voices to talk about business, life, and the passions that drive each of us and the areas we can all work on to truly be better. This is Beyond the Policy.
Hello. Today, we're going to do something a little bit different on Beyond the Policy. We're going to flip the script. And I'm your guest host, Professor Kern, Kirk Kern. On this episode, we will meet a very intriguing gentleman. Very intriguing. His name is Matt Karaffa. Maybe you've heard of him. Matt is a commercial insurance and risk management advisor for Brown & Brown. He works closely with business owners to help them identify risk, close coverage gaps, and protect what they've built, which is kind of interesting. We'll get there in a few seconds. His approach goes beyond insurance, focusing on proactive risk management, business strategy, and long-term relationships. Do you understand what that means?
I do.
Good. You can explain it to us in a minute. So outside of his professional role, Matt serves as president of the Be Better Foundation, a nonprofit dedicated to mentoring local students, which is admirable. And of course, he hosts the podcast Beyond the Policy, where he usually sits here and talks to business leaders, coaches, and entrepreneurs to explore leadership growth and their habits. But today, he is my guest on your podcast.
Perfect.
It's kind of cool, isn't it? So this should be entertaining. So we're just going to let it rip. You ready?
Ready.
All right, let's pull the cord and let's rip it and jump. So our goal today is this, to talk to you about who you are. We know you're a great pro in insurance. We know you're a great sales guy. We know lots of things about you professionally. Let's learn about you a little personally.
Okay.
And then we've got a couple of little hidden gems that should make those who are watching and listening today a little bit more entertaining. So you ready to go?
Ready.
So let's start at the beginning. Let's talk about your birth. No, I'm kidding. When you were a kid, where'd you grow up? Where was your hometown?
Yeah, grew up Westchester, Ohio, just north of Cincinnati.
Okay.
And whole childhood was there, and had two older sisters who went to Bowling Green. Ultimately, how I ended up this way.
Interesting.
And stayed. But yeah, growing up was kind of exciting what I'm seeing with my boys now, playing outside, sports, getting involved in as many things as possible, and always stay busy.
So if I shut my eyes, paint me a picture. I'm going to do it right now. Shut my eyes. I want to hear and see what your neighborhood's about. Tell me, what kind of house? 2-story ranch? Tell me what's going on in your neighborhood when you're 10 years old. Okay, I got it. Ready?
Yeah.
Go.
2-story brick house.
Yep.
Bottom of a hill, cul-de-sac.
Cool.
Busy neighborhood at the time. I had lots of kids going around after school. Remember going to putting pennies on railroad tracks and dirt bikes, riding up and down. We had a pond across. Our neighbor always let us go back. Bluegills, lots of summers back there, which was also turned into the sledding hill. So yeah, a lot of good times growing up.
So who's your best friend? Maybe you have many.
Yeah, had a lot. In the neighborhood, didn't have a whole lot, but sports drew them a lot. So 2 guys I'm still closest with now, Todd and Mike. Hence, were growing up sports, baseball, all the things, and still the closest to this day. So
you had a great childhood.
Loved it.
Yeah, amazing. Any broken bones when you're...
Arm.
Okay.
Stitches
How
over
old?
the 8.
That's tough at 8.
Stitches.
Okay.
4 knee surgeries. That wasn't all in childhood, though. That came later.
Okay. And how tall are you today?
6'3".
And where were you, what age when you hit 6 foot?
7th, 8th grade.
Okay. So you were one of the tall dudes.
Yeah.
I mean, not like me, a short dude. Where'd you go to high school?
Lakota West High School.
Lakota West.
Yeah, in Westchester.
And talk to me about sports. You just alluded to all the things that you've had. So you've had a lot of knee surgeries. Were you playing, hockey, soccer?
Not a hockey guy. Met all my friends in Bowling Green, all hockey guys, not basketball. So Me, I was opposite. All basketball. Never had any friends that played hockey. But junior high was track, basketball, baseball, football, one thing to the other. And then in high school, it was golf and basketball.
No kidding. Did you get in any trouble? Did you have to go to the principal's office ever?
I think so. I didn't know what the word plagiarism meant.
Oh.
And I think I just copied a paper because I forgot to do it. And I remember my mom getting walked into the office and learning what that meant. So
Yeah. Today, they just go AI.
Yeah.
They don't even think about plagiarism.
Different methods.
Yeah, absolutely. But same outcome, right?
Same thing.
So I'm assuming you had some really great people along the way. Probably also a couple of stinkers. We won't talk about those. Let's talk about mentors, because mentors is a pretty important thing in your life
Yeah.
today. So early age, did you have a mentor, a coach or somebody, or a teacher, or neighborhood, dad, mom, somebody?
Yeah. Parents, of course.
Yep.
But I think that, I wouldn't define them as they provide mentorship abilities, but, they were my parents that provided that. But from
Sure.
a true mentor, a lot of coaches, basketball, just on all the different levels. Growing up, English teacher sticks out. Kind of that person of, you're going to teach and go through the class, but they always, kind of help you outside of this, or what are we, working on outside of, what we're working on in the class. And then where I worked, it was around a lot of business people.
What?
And
You worked? You had a job when you were in high school?
I did.
Very cool. What kind of job?
I was a caddy
Yep.
at a golf court, Heritage Golf Club, and then I worked at the Cart Barn at Fort Bridges, and they were right across the street from each other. So my first job was a caddy, and I think started that in 7th grade. So you'd go carry a bag and make a quick $40, and if you're lucky, you got to carry 2 bags at once and doubled your hourly rate. So
Wow. So you were kind of like a pack mule, both shoulders. Go.
There's one that sticks out. It was a member guest tournament. The guy came, never had a caddy before, I don't think, but he had a bag that looked like it was from Caddy Shack. No joke, I think he had 97 golf balls in this bag. And the member was like, sorry, dude, but here you go. So it made it, so that was double bag for 9 holes. Luckily, someone at the cart saw what was going on and, figured it out for the next 9. But yeah, it was always fun.
Yeah, that really builds character, doesn't it? I'm so serious. Carrying bags and that type of labor, even though you're out on the golf course, that's a full-time job.
Yeah,
Trying
it was
to get
fun.
Somebody
It was
get me
great.
through it, especially with 97 balls. All right, so we talked about, or you alluded to the fact that you had 2 sisters. I bet you maybe did they love you, or did they smack you up a little bit?
We're
Tough love?
10 years apart.
Okay.
So my oldest sister always jokes that I was the only child because she was off in college and I
sure.
was, young. And then
Yep.
they were, again, the joke now is, spoiled and the baby and all of that. But it was, again, no, they didn't beat me up too much.
Well, as the baby of the family, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
So they were both BG girls.
Yep.
What'd they study?
Education and physical therapy.
So I'm guessing little Sibs, he would come up for the
Oh, yeah.
weekend on occasion.
Learn how to play euchre
Oh yeah, I bet.
that weekend and a few other things. But yeah, that was the main one.
Sure you did. So always wanted to go to Bowling Green?
No. When I was in high school, playing basketball, I was getting recruited to play small college, Division II, Division III, which would have been fun.
Yep.
And senior year of high school, tore my ACL and rehabbed it was about a year and 2 months total. So of course that was February. Fast forward a month later, you're supposed to pick your school sometime in there, and rehabbing and playing basketball didn't sound fun to me. Just kind of moved on from that. And I was familiar with Bowling Green, and then growing up in Cincinnati, UC or Miami, I'm like, it's a little too close from home, and had familiarity and family still up this way. So came here to be a kid, go to school. Basketball wasn't on the horizon. Some people experienced the freshman 15. I experienced the freshman 65.
Oh my gosh.
Couldn't run, couldn't do anything, but lived across from a buffet, and it was a good time. So quite the spectrum.
Wow. I'm just trying to do, again, I don't need to shut my eyes on this one. I can visualize 65 pounds on your frame.
Went home on Thanksgiving. My grandma called me fat.
Oh, man, yeah, that hurt, didn't it?
Yeah.
So you walked on? What year?
So that was
Sophomore?
that summer. That would have been 2006, freshman year, and then, yeah, Dan Dockich in 06 would have left Bowling Green.
Yep.
And then that following season, so going 07 to 08, Lewis Orr would have came in, and with the new coaching staff did have walk-on tryouts, and went in, gave it a shot, and ended up walking on for 3 years.
So how'd you get rid of 65 pounds? No GLP drugs to help you?
Those letters weren't around yet. But no, it was main thing. I was active my whole life, and just not being able to run and do stuff.
Yep.
Once I got cleared at break, I was able to go back and play, pick up basketball, run, lift, do all the things. So it kind of just, I mean, it was, you still had to work at it, but yeah, just getting active helped.
So you start your career at BG. Of course, you come in as a freshman. You know exactly what you want to do. Probably when you were, you an overachiever, probably 7th grade, maybe 6th grade, know exactly what you wanted to do. Had no clue, right?
No.
So freshman year, you're taking all the prereqs, all the BGP and blah, 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 blah. And then what did you decide that you were going to do?
Yeah, so
study.
Yeah, so took some, it was in the business class, wanted to be in business somewhere, and then, I think end of freshman, sophomore year, accounting or finance, chose finance.
Yep.
Went through that path. But even through that, when I talk to kids now and they don't have it, I have to think back, like I didn't have it mapped out either, knew exactly what I wanted to do, and I think very few people do. But business something. I knew I could, a finance degree could get something. Insurance wasn't on that list at that time. But yeah, graduated with a finance degree.
Favorite prof? Do you remember any of the profs?
Of course.
As a prof, I always want to make sure, does anybody remember my name?
Yeah, Dr. Reed, marketing professor.
Yep, good dude.
And probably I always joke with him because he's responsible for a lot of my vices, because his examples in class would be around scotch and cigars and relatable things that I was interested in and grow to be. So he was one, and of course loved the sales aspect, which ultimately is majority of my day-to-day now. And then Brian Roars, he was my intro to business class and was a GA for him. And
great guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. That's good that you remember the name. Sometimes I ask students today, who's your professor in finance? And they look at me like, what? They actually have a name? So I'm glad. Both those guys, great people, great people. So you were in college. Anything you learned that kind of, again, here's the deal. High school, you learned some stuff. College, you learned some stuff that's maybe applies today, or?
Yeah, I think the biggest of all the academic stuff, I can't, to be honest, go back to my finance class and market analysis and, all that stuff. But I think one of the benefits, in my opinion, of going to college and all the debates on that, but for me it was experiences and how to get out on your own and survive, how to meet people, how to interact. You're not going to get along with everyone. You're not going to. I had a freshman roommate, random, dropped out of class, whole thing. So it was up and down. End up, again, how things work out. Met my core group of friends because of that situation, and just figuring life out.
So let's move from your early years, Matt, the early years, to career in insurance. How'd you get into insurance?
I was working for Fifth Third Bank at the time and branch manager, and kind of loved what I did. Wasn't issue, but it wasn't, just got to the point where, what was next, and, I didn't want to do that forever, and met somebody playing golf who was hiring in Bowling Green and surrounding areas, and kind of, there was an aging workforce in the agency and kind of needed a transition specifically in Bowling Green, and had a couple dinners, had a couple meetings, and wife was involved in the process and making sure it fit, and end up starting, it'll be 11 years this month. A couple months.
11 years. Wow, that's awesome. So insurance it's so complicated, I think. Probably for you it's not, because you do it every day, but for entrepreneurs, business owners, just the people who live on the street across from your office here, they really don't know what it entails.
Yeah.
So let's talk about what do most people misunderstand about insurance? Can we talk about, residential and then go into commercial?
Sure.
Cool.
Yeah, I think overall, either one you look at, people assume that when you purchase insurance, that's just covering any bad thing that can happen. I'm going to be covered. I buy insurance.
Right.
In theory, I mean, essentially, it's a contract, so it's covering certain things that happen, and the part of my job is to educate what is covered, and more importantly, what is not covered, to making sure everyone's on the same page. Residential, it's common. You're going to have the same, structure of the policy, but the limits are going to change.
Sure.
And I think the biggest, again, there's things that the normal purchaser of it wouldn't, and you rely on, someone you trust and know to guide you through that process.
So trust and know and guidance, you just hit on some really key words. So what makes or separates a good insurance salesperson and representing a good company or companies against somebody who's just there to basically take what they can and run?
Yeah.
Talk about that.
I think communication and transparency and being on the same page, because a lot of our conversations, price is always important.
Yep.
But at the end of the day, and the probably hundreds of claims I've been involved in, no one at that scenario says, can you make my premium less when you're going through a claim?
Sure.
And I think the to your question of good to great, of being able to communicate why you're buying essentially that product, how it's going to help, and because the whole goal is I'm selling you something that we hope you never have to use.
Right.
And if you do, you want it to work. And that balance is, I think, the trick.
Well said. I'm going to clap for you because I've had lots of insurance people over the years, and I would have you as my insurance agent. I'm going on record right now.
There we go. We talk about it.
All right, we can do it. So let's just talk one more item about insurance. You ever have to fire a client?
Yes, delicate balance. It just wasn't going to, work out, and it just at that time with everything being competitive and finding other options, but it kind of just worked itself out. I never had to force them, kick them out the door, but it just I didn't shed much pain or anything when they decided to go elsewhere. So
sometimes things just don't align, right?
Right.
So
yeah.
It works that way. What do you like best about what you do every day?
My I always joke with my wife, and I don't go to work. Yes, it's my job, my occupation, my profession, but I don't feel like going I go to work, punching a clock or anything like that. So that's overall, holistically, that's probably one of my favorite. I feel like I don't work. I've been here 11 years, and I wouldn't consider it that. But when I worked at the bank and did certain things, it was rewarding in and of itself. You were helping people out,
Sure.
talking to people. But I don't know about you, but how excited you would get for a checking account. Probably not super excited. You probably don't get super excited about insurance either. But when you deal with a business owner or that situation where, somebody was hurt, cars damaged, houses on fire, water in the basement, business burned down, someone's getting sued for fill in the blank, and you, through your guidance, was able to help them protect their business and kept them in business. And my biggest fear, nightmare, is something not being covered. They go out of business because something I failed to do or did not do as their agent.
Again, this might sound like we set this up, but you and I haven't had these conversations. But that's the kind of guy I want to do business, or person I want to do business with. I want them to build a relationship with me. I want them to have conversation, and if there's ways that I can save money, I want you to pitch that to me. But I also want to know that you're there. So if I call, you're not going to blow me off because you're doing a podcast. You're going to take my call and say, "Hey, Kirk, I got something going. You got something going. Let me be there to help you out."
Yeah.
So that's really important. All right. So we talked about your life as a youngster, being 6 foot at 7th grade. Man, we talked about your professional life a little bit. Let's talk about this Be Better Foundation. This is really cool. I'm a newbie here. We moved to Bowling Green about 7 years ago. Even though I've been in the community, I'm just really trying to learn things now. I think Be Better came on my radar screen maybe a year or two ago, and I'm like, wow, what is this, and who is this cat doing it? So let's talk about Be Better. How did it get started? What's the purpose?
Yeah, so a couple different ways we can start. One with a name. I coach high school golf, and something that came out naturally is, when you're golfing, someone else can't screw up passing you the ball. You're pretty much just be there. So my mentality for my own golf, not straight to the kids yet, was be better, suck less.
Right.
Like pick one or the other, just ball's right there, hit it. And that was just kind of my self-talk motivation. And I put it on shirts, and it's in my gym, and it's just kind of my brand I've developed over the years. And fast forward, I always wanted to do something with it.
Very cool.
Bigger. And my wife is in the education system, and chatting with Tony Lake in a fall afternoon 2 years ago, coming after this summer. We're not even 2 years yet. And Melissa had a tough day. We were just chatting, and these kids just need someone. They're, it's first week of school. They're already getting in trouble. Same stuff as last year. They have no guidance.
Yep.
No person to talk to, count on, depend on, all that stuff. And I'm like, well, we can help with that. 2 months later, Be Better Foundation was formed in December of 24, and our first mentor was 2025. And fast forward today, as we speak, heading into the summer, we wrapped up in all 3 elementary schools, cool. 20 students, hopefully double that in the next year or two. Unfortunately, the need is there. And yeah, we're just, our strategy is simple: show up and care.
That's a good strategy. Again, I applaud you for the effort. Is this something that's scalable? Can you do this in multiple locations? Because if you haven't read the newspaper or listened to any type of cast in the last 24 hours, you see there's a huge need for it.
Yeah, we're trying to figure out and get our processes down. And, first year was trial by fire.
You bet.
And what worked, what didn't. Even this, second full year, but 1.5 full years of things aren't 100% ironed out. But I think, yes, absolutely, the need of, if we develop something that works for our school system, why couldn't others do it and provide that framework and help? I think it's more you find out. When you think of mentors, there's no rules that apply. Who wouldn't benefit from having someone that you can count on, hold you accountable, care? Like, why should that be limited? So.
No, it's, again, a simple principle that you guys have figured out how to actually incorporate it into our school systems. I think everybody, I'm over 60. I still have a mentor.
Yeah.
People who I talk to.
100%.
I mentor a lot of people as well, but it's that give and take, So fascinating. Yeah. All right. We are fast approaching the time that you and I are going to be done talking, because we're getting beyond the policy here. Let's do a little word association. Do you like word association?
Sure.
You're lying. No, we're going to do some word association. So I'm going to say a word, you're going to give me a word back.
Okay. One word.
Well, you can give me a phrase if you need to. You ready?
Ready.
Leadership.
Important.
Growth.
Growth. Needed.
Failure.
Learn to love.
Mentorship.
Impactful.
Insurance.
Exciting.
Sales.
Fun.
Podcasting.
Interesting.
Community.
I was just going to say part of my job, part of my identity, important.
Yeah, part of your identity. BGSU.
Fun times.
Risk.
Management.
Happiness.
Happiness. I like to be happy.
Yeah, okay. All right, so, I'm a professor, retired from BG, now at the University of Findlay as a distinguished, so I need to ask you some questions. I have to have a little test. Okay, it's going to be a fill in the blank.
Okay.
And these are pretty simple. So we'll start with this. Are you ready?
Okay.
I love?
Bowling Green.
I'm going to put that in there. People would be surprised to know?
People would be surprised to know.
I want to see if you're going to pass this test.
I don't eat things that are white and creamy.
Okay. The best advice that I've ever received was?
Never burn a bridge.
That's a great one. I blank challenges.
Embrace.
Oh. Success means?
Failing often.
I like that. Who's your hero?
Hero.
Who's your hero?
I don't know if I ever answered that question before.
That's why I asked it. It's one of my faves.
I'm thinking about this deeper, but what's coming to mind as a sports guy was Kobe Bryant.
Kobe. I think there are, a lot of people have Kobe as a hero. All right. I wish I could.
Fly.
If I wasn't in insurance sales, I would be?
I'd work at Costco.
My favorite meal is something that's not white and creamy. My favorite meal is?
Chicken fingers.
Chicken fingers. You're a cheap date. I'm so proud of?
My boys, Briggs and Brooks. Witnessed them, was at basketball camp, and they didn't know I was there, so that interaction was interesting today.
I bet. And the last one, you're almost there. You almost got 100%. Let's see if you can do it. You can score it through. My family is?
Very important.
Very important. All right. So you've spent a lot of time interviewing a lot of people on Beyond the Policy and dealing with clients, right? Mm-hmm. So what's one question that you wish people would ask you more?
I just wrote about this, and like I said, I indicated that, we spend a lot of time about price, and, that's important, but I wish I would ask, when we go through that, what's, how does this policy actually work? So how does it happen? How are they in the time of a claim? Because I don't think we spend enough time, because that's essentially what you're buying. Yes, we hope we go a whole year without, or years without ever using it, but hey, if I have to use this, do you like working with them? Are they going to be good to me? Like, I think that every purchaser of insurance should ask that question to whoever they're with.
So if we do this again next year at this time, where are you going to be? Stop. Let's do this in 3 years if I'm still alive, and we do this podcast again. Where's Matt Karaffa going to be?
Still working with Brown & Brown, still helping businesses and individuals out. Boys will be older, but involved in something else, but still right here in the BG community. And
very cool.
Yeah.
So as we wrap, if somebody's listening today that wants to be a little better tomorrow, what's one piece of advice you can leave them with?
I've been trying to do, for me personally, it's how can you brighten someone else's day? Because it doesn't take a lot of effort. And there's a lot of people upset in the world.
Sure.
But just how you impact others is one, and also patience. My patience is sometimes very short, more so with my family that I'm working on. But as that relates to others, my guidance to others would be, be curious. How can you help others? And I think everyone can benefit from a little patience.
You bet. Hey, thanks for being a guest on your own podcast.
Thanks for doing it. It was fun.
Yeah, hopefully you had fun, and hopefully everybody who's listening, viewing today, got a little better.
Thanks for hanging out with me on Beyond the Policy. If you got something out of today's conversation, pass it along to a friend, client, or colleague who might enjoy it too. You can always connect with me through the show notes or on LinkedIn. And remember, the best coverage always starts with the right conversations. Until next time, be better.